Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to get into 10 books that you could read for Pride Month. Now, I did want to give a little disclaimer. I know personally I have not read a whole bunch of books that deal with LGBTQ themes, but I do love reading them. So I do have 10 books here. If you guys have any recommendations on books you think I should read, either classic or new books with LGBTQ themes, I would really appreciate it. I know that there are going to be areas of this list that are a little bit lacking for probably some of the letters in that LGBTQ spectrum. These are 10 books that I have read and absolutely loved that I think you guys should give a try for Pride Month. So the first book that I'm going to be going with is one by Cassandra Clare. Pretty much all of her books from the Shadowhunters series have LGBTQ characters in them. Not all of them are going to be on the forefront. I've been reading her books for, oh gosh, the first Mortal Instruments book, City of Bones, came out over 10 years ago, and I'm pretty sure I got that around the time it came out. So it's been probably at least 10 years since I've been reading her books. I absolutely loved the fact that she had characters that were gay and bi and not straight, that were not the whole identity. She had characters that, even though that was a part of them, that was not who they were, and I absolutely loved it. It was one of the first series that I have read where she had that. But for my first book here, I am going to be going with the Bane Chronicles. This is a collection of short stories all about Magnus Bane. She actually did write this with two other writers, Sarah Reese Brennan and Maureen Johnson. I absolutely loved this collection here. Magnus Bane is a character who is bi, and he actually says it in some of the books. You know for a fact that he is bisexual. He is not just sort of experimenting or not putting a label on it, because there have been times that in TV shows, movies, other books where they just don't label themselves, and I think it does a great service when they are able to label themselves in some way, especially with bisexuals, where you don't always see that representation in media. But I absolutely love this one. This is just a collection of really, really fun short stories about him. Some of them are from way before he meets the people in the Shadowhunters, in the Mortal Instruments, and then some of it do deal with Alec being his boyfriend, and I just absolutely loved this. I think this is a really, really good one if you are in the world already and haven't tried this. It just gives you a better idea of some of the stuff that he's gone through by himself. And again, the bisexual part of his identity is not his entire identity. He is a fully fleshed character, and that's just a small part of him. Next, we have Symptoms of Being Human by Jeff Garvin. This is one that deals with a character who is gender fluid. So in this book, we follow our main character of Riley, who has not come out yet. Sometimes they feel like a boy, sometimes they feel like a girl, and because they have not come out yet, their therapist has actually suggested doing a sort of blog about what it actually means to be a gender fluid teenager. I loved this book. I actually gave it a 5 out of 5 stars when I read it. I really connected to the character of Riley. Even though I've never really had a problem with my identity and trying to figure that stuff out, Riley was just very, very relatable, both with the teenage issues but also with their own issues. One thing that I really, really liked about this book is that we never, as the reader, know what gender was assigned at birth to Riley. I felt that that was a very bold statement to make, because you never really need to know throughout this book. I've never felt so happy about not knowing something, but I felt it fit perfectly with the book. I really, really enjoyed what this was. I do sort of think this is a little bit of a coming of age story for our main character, but again, if you have not read this, I do think it's something to give a try. I really, really loved this one. Then I'm going to be going with the Choose Your Own Autobiography by Neil Patrick Harris. This obviously is a nonfiction book all about Neil Patrick Harris. I absolutely loved him as Barney in How I Met Your Mother, and I'm loving him now as Count Olaf in this series of Unfortunate Events on Netflix. He is a very diverse actor. He can do tons of things. He sings as well. It's been on Broadway. It's just amazing. This is all about his life, obviously. I first want to just say that I love the whole choose your own adventure sort of style that this book went into. You can read it a million different ways. I did read a little bit as the choose your own adventure sort of story, but I also went through just like front to back, read the whole thing without that because it is such a good story that he is telling in here. He talks about what it was like being a child actor. He talks about how he figured out that he was gay and how he was coming out. He also talks a little bit about his life with his husband and their 2 children. I follow him on Instagram as well, and I just think they have such a good, cute, adorable little family, and I was really, really happy to read something about a real life person and what they were dealing with as they were coming out, and just life in general, because he had to come out in the public eye. If you're not too into nonfiction, I do suggest this one, but I also suggest, because I'm not the biggest person in nonfiction either, suggest finding somebody who you really like or look up to. I have only a few books that I've read that are nonfiction related, but most all of them are about people and celebrities that I connect to on some level, whether it was on a TV show or movie that they did or just them in person, but I really, really, really liked this one. Next, I'm going to talk about The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This one here is sort of a historical fiction, fun, romantic story. This does not have as many of the hard issues as some of the other books deal with, but I absolutely love this one. This one follows our main character of Monty as he is going on his trip around the country before he goes off to college, and he is dealing with some of his feelings for his best friend Percy as well. Percy, another reason I really, really like this book, is a person of color. I am absolutely loving how many more books are now coming out with diversity in them. Either it being people that are people of color, so they're not Caucasian, or it being gender and sexual diversity as well. I am really, really loving the way that YA has been taking a turn. This one here was just a really, really fun ride. I did end up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars when I first read it because Monty is not the most likable character for me, although he does grow as it goes, but I really, really did like the LGBTQ elements in here. It was just placed in as part of the story. It wasn't the main focus of the story. This could have been a story with completely straight characters, white characters, but it wasn't, and I loved it. The second book of this, The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy, I believe is coming out later this year, and I'm pretty sure the main character in that one, Felicity, is supposed to be asexual, so I'm hoping for a really good representation of that as well. But this one is just more of a fun, cute story, so I do suggest this as well. Moving on to a book that does have some more hard-hitting issues in this, we are going to be talking about Draw the Line by Lauren Lynn. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but I absolutely love this one. This is one that follows our main character of Adrian, who is a gay student at his small town Texas school, and while he is with some friends, another gay student ends up having a hate crime happen against them. He has to decide what he's going to be doing about that, and there's this whole issue in his community, and he has to learn where to draw the line. I absolutely love this cover. It fits the book so well, both the cover and the title, because this book is one of those really, really good ones that has the story, but also art and drawing, and I absolutely love it. So our character, Adrian, draws and has, I think, an online sort of comic book, and so that's how he deals with the issues that are happening in his town, all of the bullying and homophobia. I love the fact that the Draw the Line can stand for the art, but also the fact that Adrian really does have to figure out where he is putting his foot down on these major issues. There is some coming out happening in this story, but it was not a story about just coming out. It was dealing with much bigger issues. I absolutely love this story. So as long as you're okay with reading some of those things that could be a little bit triggering because of the major issues that are in here, I do think this is one that everybody should give a try. Next, I also have Without You. This is written by Anthony Rapp. This is another non-fiction one. I don't know if this is going to be a surprise to anyone, but when I was in high school and in college, I was a huge theater nerd. And one play, one musical that my friends could all pretty much agree on was Rent. We absolutely loved this. And this is a book that is like part memoir for Anthony Rapp and part about Rent. So Rent obviously has a whole cast of characters that are LGBTQ, and Anthony Rapp was one of the original cast members who is actually a gay man himself. I absolutely love this story. It does deal with a lot of Anthony Rapp's personal life, but it also deals with how they had to put on Rent and the struggles they went through, and the creator of Rent, who I'm pretty sure died before it was actually shown on Broadway. I feel like this is almost like a double dose of the LGBTQ in this, because you're having the non-fiction part of Anthony Rapp's life, but you're also having the behind the scenes of Rent, a huge musical with tons of LGBTQ themes. Again, this is another non-fiction I think you guys should really give a try. If you're into musicals at all, I would definitely suggest doing this. Anthony Rapp is a Broadway legend, and again, just super well written. I really, really love this one. Next, I'm going to be talking about Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I absolutely love this book. I'm pretty sure it's my favorite by her, especially because I have 2 copies. I just could not have just the one, because this one is just absolutely gorgeous. I love it so much. This is another book that I want to say is probably more fun. It does have LGBTQ characters in it. I mean, our main characters in this book actually end up in a relationship. That is not a spoiler. Pretty much everybody who goes into this knows that's going to be happening. It is very tongue-in-cheek about fan fiction and Harry Potter type of books where there's a magic school. This is a very, very fun ride. Very, very funny. I absolutely love this. I really do need to do a reread eventually. They are having a sequel coming out in 2020. I just cannot wait, and I'm really excited to see where they're going to be going with the next one. This one here, again, not super intense with the LGBTQ themes, but still a super fun ride where the identities do not overtake the character. It is just part of who they are, and I loved it. Next, I'm going to be cheating a little bit because I'm going to be talking about a series instead of just a book, but it is going to be the Signs of Love series by Anita Sunday. The first book is Leo Loves Aries, and the second book is Scorpio Hates Virgo. There is also a third one called Capricorn Keeps Gemini, but it's not out in these like paperback versions, so I don't have it with me. It's just an ebook right now. I'm really hoping they get the paperback version soon. These ones are technically classified as male-male romances, so these are definitely going to be adult books. The reason I'm including them here is because I do not feel like these should just be classified as a male-male romance. I have talked about these on my channel before because I absolutely love them, but the author does not have these as just gay guys in a romance. These are LGBTQ characters. In our first book here, one of our romance interests is bisexual, and in our second book here, one of our romance interests is demisexual. I absolutely love the fact that the author actually states these things in her books. It's not just like, oh, he used to like a girl and now he likes a guy, and we just sort of gloss over it. These are aspects of the books that are really, really important. She also deals with consent very, very well. These are super cute romances. I believe the first one is sort of a friends to lovers. The second one is sort of an enemies to lovers. Tropes that I absolutely love. I feel like the author really took the time to make sure she knew what she was talking about. And again, these do not feel like just male-male romances. They remind me more of the young adult LGBTQ novels that have themes that are maybe not all about identity, but it is part of them. This one does deal with a little bit of coming out, a little bit of that kind of stuff as well, but it's mostly just a really, really cute romance. It could have been straight people, it could have been a straight couple, but it's not, and I absolutely love the fact that it's not. Then we have Afterworlds by Scott Westerfeld. I am a little sad to say that this is basically the only book I have that is focused on female LGBTQ characters. I am very much lacking in that department. If you guys have any suggestions on books that have female LGBTQ characters, I would really, really appreciate it. Leave me them down below because I want to read more. but I absolutely love this one. This one here is a dual perspective sort of book. We have Darcy, who has just written her first book, and she is going into the publishing world, and then we have her character, Lizzie, from her book that she wrote, and she's dealing with the after effects of like a mass shooting, and there's like paranormal elements in there. I mostly want to talk about Darcy right now. Darcy, I absolutely loved. I mean, I love the other parts with Lizzie as well, but Darcy was like the real character in this story. It was all about her and her publishing journey. Not only that, she's trying to find herself. I think she just graduated high school. She's like 18. She's trying to figure out exactly what she wants to do, and this is all about her coming of age story. She ends up meeting a girl named Imogen, and they also have, you know, relationship stuff that is going on. It's just a really, really good coming of age story, but I think also if you're interested in books and writing and publishing, this does give you a little behind the scenes look at that as well. I just really, really love this one. Everything was so well written and crafted. Really, really, really good. And then the last one I want to talk about is actually a webcomic, and that is going to be No End. This is written by Airly and Cromie. I'm hoping I'm saying those correctly because I don't actually know the pronunciation. But this is a webcomic that is set in a post-apocalyptic world filled with zombies and an unending winter. We have a group of characters in our main cast who are striving towards a legendary haven, which is the name of the city, but is also supposed to be a place where they can escape the winter and all of the zombies as well. I absolutely love this here. The writing style, the story, the art, the characters, everything is just so good. I can't pick little bits and pieces of it, but it's amazing. I have two favorite characters out of our main cast, which is going to be Modra and White, but everybody is so well crafted and created. They are just amazing. The best part about this is that our entire main cast of characters is queer, and that is the word that the creators have used. No character in this is going to be straight. Everybody is LGBTQ. It is part of their identity, so not only are they struggling with zombies and the unending winter and trying to reach Haven, they're also struggling with their identity and where they fit in the world. It is so good. This is a currently ongoing webcomic, so they do update usually every Wednesday and Sunday. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to see where this story is going. I have been reading this for, I want to say, probably at least a couple years now, and this is one of those webcomics that I really, really, really hope is going to be made into a trade paperback. I will buy it immediately because it is that good. I need it on my shelves. If you are into LGBTQ themes or characters at all, I really, really think this is one you guys should give a look at. It is so good. I'm going to be making sure to link that down below. I absolutely love it. I saved it for the last because I was sort of going in alphabetical order by author's last name with my books, and this one they don't have last names, but also out of all of these books right now at this moment in time, I do think this is my absolute favorite. I really, really love the characters. I have done a reread of this all before as well. It is just so well done, and I really would like people to read this so I can talk to them about it. I don't know anybody personally that has read this. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Leave me a comment down below if you guys do have any recommendations for me. Subscribe to this channel if you would like to see more videos. I do have videos up every Monday and Thursday, so I will see you then. Bye!